Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, do you ever just look around and think, what the hell are we doing? I mean, we've created this bizarre world where we judge someone's self-worth by how many zeros they have in their bank account. We become so obsessed with productivity that employers are spying on their employees. And we're so pressured to find our passion that we end up fast-forwarding through the greatest parts of our lives. We have created this new concept that has pretty much infected every single industry in society, and it's called hustle culture. And hustle culture really needs no introduction. It's this never-ending quest for productivity and efficiency that leaves people burnt out, stressed out, and extremely anxious. And the more hustle culture develops through micromanaging productivity trackers, calendars full of Zoom meetings, and remote work that creates new unwritten expectations, the more I think that hustle culture is slowly killing us. I think it's time that we take a long, hard look at our society's relationship with work, money, and what is important, because the more we continue on this path, the closer we get to self-destruction. So in this video, I want to pose 5 different questions. And with each question, I just want to simply challenge you to think about the direction that hustle culture is taking us. And I hope at the very least, it can make you think and reflect on the path that we're on. So let's begin. Question 1. What kind of change does the world really need? You know, we often want to change the world and make the world a better place, but what does that really mean? I mean, when you think critically about change, it's not always a good thing. I always think about the quote, "The road to hell was paved with good intentions." Doing good isn't as easy as it sounds. Sometimes when we try to create change in the world, we end up with more problems than when we started. And when you think about society right now, what kind of change does the world really need? Well, it depends on who you ask. In 2018, Elon Musk tweeted, "Nobody ever changed the world in 40 hours a week." And then he went on to talk about how you need to work 80 to 100 hours a week in order to change the world. You know, Elon Musk is just a human with a severe Twitter addiction. But we often look at people like him as the leaders of the world that we should listen to. And if we all listen to people like him, the world would be a better place. But I think the question that desperately needs to be asked right now is, what kind of change does the world really need? If we seek this hustle culture, where we all follow his advice and work 80 hours a week, what happens to society? Sure, there might be some changes, but do those changes lead to a happier world? Do those changes equal a better society? Because doing good isn't as easy as it sounds, and change isn't always good. And I think we need to ask the question, what kind of change does the world really need? Question 2. What is the point of productivity? In the last 10 to 15 years, we have really just become obsessed with productivity. We have created this new relationship with productivity that has completely changed the way we work, where we have time tracking software, calendars full of meetings and tasks, and countless apps that help us live more productive lives. In 1930, an economist named John Maynard Keynes predicted that over time, due to advancements in machinery, technology, and new ideas, we would have a more productive society. And he predicted that with that new productivity, the average work week would move down to 15 hours a week. When you compare society today to society in 1930, we do have advancements in machinery, technology, and a more educated population. But the irony is that we are not working less. And I believe that this is because instead of using these advancements for us, we're using them against us. Instead of using these amazing tools to make our lives easier and better, what we've done is we've turned them around on us, and we've made us the product. We're selling our souls so that a computer can monitor human efficiency for a fraction % of an increase in productivity. And I think in the age where we've become obsessed with productivity, we need to ask ourselves, what is the point of productivity? Hustle culture really focuses on maximizing productivity. It focuses on being as efficient as possible. But in that process, what happens? What happens when we allow a computer to determine someone's professional worth? When we solely focus on numbers on a screen, how does that affect how a human being perceives themselves? There is no limit to how productive a computer can be, but there is a limit to how productive a human being can be. And when we pass that limit, what happens? And is there a point of that productivity? Question 3. What happens to society when we glorify billionaires? It often seems like in our society, we put rich people on a pedestal. We just say, "All hail the billionaires," and we act as if the people who have made the biggest impact on society are the people with the most money. And we glorify and we envy their lifestyles of big houses, nice cars, and a bunch of material possessions. And we look up to these people and think that if we work as hard as they do, we can make an impact on society and we can achieve the wealth that they have. And in the age where we can view into other people's lives through things like Netflix or social media or all these other forms of entertainment, I think it's time that we look ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves, what happens to society when we glorify billionaires? We often look up to these rich entrepreneurs like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs and then believe that we should all aspire to be those people, that we should all work hard and one day we can make a positive impact on society like these rich entrepreneurs have made on our society, like how Jeff Bezos has made everyone addicted to shopping, or Steve Jobs has made the world extremely antisocial with the release of the smartphone, making the smartphone mandatory, ladies and gentlemen. But hustle culture is really just this pursuit of impressing others, believing that one day if you work hard enough, you can make an impact on society, achieve this material wealth, and you can separate yourself from other people in society because you've made it. What kind of culture appears when we view success as money? What kind of personalities are created? What kind of values does that culture have? We should all have heroes and we all aspire to be different things. But when a society points at one specific type of person and says, these are the most successful people in society, what happens to that society? Question 4. What are the fundamental needs of a human being? Times have changed, but people haven't. If you look back thousands of years ago, maybe people would have worn different clothes or had different hairstyles, but nothing has really changed about how humans think and what humans need. But now as society becomes more and more complex, we're after different things in life. We have so many temptations in life that has changed what we're after, the things that we want in life. And I think that as we have a more and more complex society, we need to ask ourselves the question, what are the fundamental needs of a human being? We need the exact same things now that we did thousands of years ago. The basic ones are food, water, shelter. But when you dig a bit deeper, our other needs are safety, understanding, relationships, contribution, acceptance, and freedom, to name a few. And those fundamental needs will never change, and every single human being on the planet needs those things. We need the exact same things in life. But hustle culture might be desirable to some as a path to fulfill needs in life. If you work hard and put in the time, you can expect your hard work to pay off and your needs to be met. And we believe this because we see successful people and we view successful people as having every single need in life met. But what kind of needs does hustle culture promise to fulfill? And how do those needs differ from our fundamental needs? And what's exaggerated in that path? Because as human beings, we are all fundamentally the exact same. We all need the exact same things in order to live a happy life. But when you look at society today, how are we doing on fulfilling our needs? Question 5. In the end, what really matters? Let me put something in perspective. It is estimated that since the beginning of our species on planet Earth, there have been an estimated 117 billion human beings. And you, the viewer, are one in that legacy of 117 billion human beings over the course of hundreds of thousands of years. That is a pretty humbling statistic, isn't it? But our time, our short amount of time on this planet is pretty insignificant. Hundreds of years from now, humanity or the earth is just going to continue moving on. And I think that we should look at that in a positive light because it makes you reflect on how you want to live your short amount of time on this planet. And as society becomes more complex with increased stress, increased anxiety, and increased depression, we should all just stop and ask ourselves, in the end, what really matters? Hustle culture is a big commitment. It makes you dedicate a huge chunk of your life to your work, and there's many side effects that come from that lifestyle. And when you are on your deathbed, looking back at your short time on this planet, what are the things that are going to make you smile? How are others going to perceive you? What are you going to wish you would have done more of? I am not here to tell you how to live your life, but I think now more than ever, as society becomes more and more complex, we need to stop for a moment and ask ourselves these questions, because hustle culture might be slowly killing you. And it might be time to just step aside and question some of your actions. And with that, muchas gracias, que tenga un buen día. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I did round number 2 of Augustine becomes an interior designer. I was getting some feedback and I thought that maybe I was sending off some weird vibes. So I decided the background needed a little pop, a little Scooby-Doo pop, a little pizzazz, and let's just be real, a little Augustine. So let me know how you think. I am very limited on space, so can't really do that much with my background. But let me know if you like it. This is round 2. I'll probably do it again. But anyways, muchas gracias. Que tenga un buen día. Nos vemos, chicos. Video number 91.